Yo, what is going on, you guys? It is Royal Stonerz here. Welcome back to another video. How are you guys doing? Let me know down below in the comments. I always like to know. Tonight we're smoking on some fucking fire. I hope you guys are smoking along with me. Today's video is going to be a fucking story time, guys. Yes, a fucking story time. Now, this is a fucking crazy one, guys. This is going to be the story about my meth psychosis. So, get prepared. Get your popcorn. Get your socks on, because get ready for them to get knocked the fuck off, okay? So, this was the time I called the police on myself because, you know, I thought people were coming to kill me and I thought they were breaking into my house. Before we get into the story time though, guys, if you didn't know, I have a new Discord now, so go join that shit. Also go subscribe, or no, go follow my Instagram and go follow me on Snapchat if you haven't already. Go do that real quick before you watch this story time if you haven't already. But yes, let's get into this, right? So I was doing meth at the time, obviously, and I was at Veronica's house, right? We were doing shit tons of meth, smoking the fuck out of it, snorting it all types of ways. I'd only been over there for a day, but my mom comes and picks me up, right? And this story really starts and takes off in my mom's car, right? She had just picked me up from Veronica's house, you know. If I haven't told y'all, she's the girl from the meth stories, or the meth madness, you know. And my mom's pretty messed up, right? But I was tweaking my ass off, so I couldn't really say nothing. I didn't ever ask her about it or say shit. But, you know, we couldn't go back to my grandma's house, so she decides it would be a better option to go to her friend's house. We're going to call this friend of hers Brady. Now, Brady is a pretty cool dude. He's Jason's dad, you know. If you guys don't know who Jason is, he's the guy from the drinking lean and smoking meth story time. Yes, he's a pretty cool dude, right? You know, well, while we're driving to Brady's house, my mom's nodding out at the steering wheel and driving like fucking 15 or 20 miles per hour, guys. It was bad. Like, in our area, you can get pulled over so quick for doing shit like that. So, like, I'm very surprised we did not get pulled over, but I'm pretty sure she was on, like, heroin or fentanyl or something like that. I don't know. She didn't tell me. But, you know, in her high stupor, she decided to go stop by this gas station that was, like, right by our house, like, right by, like, my grandma's house where I was staying at during the time, right? She stops at this gas station because she can't drive, right? She's like, fuck, I don't know what we're gonna do. I need to take a break or something for like 30 minutes, right? So we're sitting there for like maybe 20 minutes, right? Just chilling in her car. And she runs into one of her old friends, right? And this dude is weird as fuck, guys. He's tweaking too, just like us. And even I could tell he was bad news. But in the moment, my mom couldn't drive, so she's trying to talk to this man. She's talking to him, but like mumbling and shit. And she ends up asking him if he could drive the fucking car and take us to Brady's house. So, you know, he says, yeah, sure, why not? And my mom got out the car and got in the passenger seat. And, you know, he starts driving. But, guys, he pulls out this Circle K or whatever the fuck gas station we were at and just starts speeding, right? And not going anywhere near where Brady's house is. Brady's house is near my house, and he starts going the opposite direction, right? So my mom's in the passenger seat like, no, quit fucking driving, let me drive. And he's just like, no, right? I got this. And he's looking back at me and is like, do you care? Like, am I driving bad? And I just didn't know what to say, guys. I did not know what to say, right? But my mom is just like, it doesn't fucking matter what he thinks, let me drive. And my mom's like, pull the fuck over. So he does, right? He finally does. And she's like pissed, right? She gets out the car, right? And she goes into the fucking driver's seat, and we're driving there, and we're like maybe like 10 or 15 minutes away from Brady's house. He didn't lead us too far away, right? But she's still driving like 15 and 20 miles per hour and swerving at the wheel because she's nodding out. We end up getting there, but not safely. It could have been really bad, guys. It was not safe at all, all right? But we eventually got there, and my mom got out the car, I got out the car, and so did this dude. And we start walking up to fucking Brady's door. My mom is just stumbling, right? And she gets to the door, and she's just like... And Jason opens up the door, right? And he is like, yo, what's up? And he just looks shocked because he did not expect the other dude to be here. His dad told him, Brady told him that we were coming, but we didn't tell him that this dude was coming, right? And I was like, yeah, that's my mom's friend. He's pretty cool, right? We've been talking in the car and shit. He's all right. He's chill, right? And they're like, okay, whatever you think, right? We get there, and I'm sitting in Brady's living room with Jason. Brady's living room had a lot of fucking arcade machines in it, guys. It was a pretty cool living room. I don't know if any of them worked, but he had Pac-Man and a bunch of other shit. I'm sitting in there with Jason Jason, right, and this random tweaker guy, and that I had just met like not that long ago, and we're all just talking and shit, and the tweaker dude gets up and leaves, right? But before leaving, he says, hey, I need to go get something of mine out the car, right? And now it's just me and Jason, so we're sitting there talking like, what do you think he's going to go do? Like, what the fuck? What do you think he's doing, right? I'm like, oh fuck, he's probably going to go steal my mom's car. So me and Jason get up, right, and we go out there and we can't see him. We don't know where he's at, right? We had no idea. So we're like, what the fuck? And we start laughing, right? And we go back inside. We're like, well, I guess he ran away. So we're sitting there talking. We go back inside and we start talking, right? And I'm tweaking out of my fucking mind, man. Like, I'm gone. And I tell him that I'm on ecstasy because I didn't want to seem like I was a tweaker. And I'm pretty sure that still made him feel a little weird. But anyways, eventually the tweaker dude comes back, right? And Jason and Brady are just like, no, right? Like, Jason goes to fucking Brady's room. He tells him, like, this guy's got to go. We got to make him leave, right? And my mom's in Brady's room just slumped, right? I don't think I mentioned that, but she went to Brady's room and just slept, like, the whole time. So, like, Jason goes in there and tells him, like, he's got to go, bro. Like, he's coming back and shit, doing weird shit. He's got to go. So we have to take Brady back, or we have to take this random dude and drop him off somewhere, right? So we're doing that. Brady asks him, he's like, do you have anywhere certain you'd like to go? And he's just like, no, just take me up the road a little bit, right? Well, later on, we figured out that this dude fucking took his tools, a lot of his electronic tools, right? Like, whenever he left, he stole a bunch of them out of the garage and put them up the road, and that's why he said, drop me off right up the road. So, you know, we didn't know this at the time, so we're on the way back to Brady's house, right? Me and Brady, and we're just chilling, and, you know, we get there, right? And I start hanging out in the living room with Jason for a little bit, and we start playing some games. We start playing Call of Duty Black Ops 3. I remember this because he had an Xbox One, not the new ones or anything, just the Xbox One, and we were playing Black Ops 3, right? Now, guys, I was fucking tripping still, right? And eventually his dad comes in the room and is like, hey, bro, you want to come hang out in the room with me, right? And I'm like, fuck yeah, let's go. So I go to the room with Brady, right, and he's just talking to me about his old career of being a DJ and shit like that, and showing me dubstep and stuff like that, and just showing me fucking beats and shit he used to make on turntables and stuff like that. And I thought it was pretty fucking cool, right? I was like, yeah, dude, that's dope. That's awesome, right? And it just makes sense because he's a meth head, but no offense to him. I didn't mean it like that, you know, but I'm now in his room, and, you know, we're listening to dubstep and shit, just vibing, and we're playing with his pet ferret too. And, you know, he eventually decides it would be a perfect time for us to do some meth. So he pulls out some fat ass shards, guys, like 2-gram shards, and starts crushing them up. And, you know, he asks me, right, he's like, do you want to snort this shit? Because I don't have a bowl right now. And I'm like, yeah, sure, that's cool, fuck it, right? And he crushes up like 1 gram, right? I swear to God. And I say, hell yes, because in this moment I'm a retard, right? He breaks up the baddest line I've ever seen in my life. Like, I'm saying, it was at least like a 1 gram line, guys. But now, you guys, if anyone breaks down for you an obviously, like, too much amount of anything, or an overdose amount of something, never fucking take it. Don't indulge in it at all. But y'all know what I said since I just said it. He goes, all right, let's see if you can. Let's see if you can actually hang, right? And I'm like, all right, let's see it. I don't know what he means, but all right. So I get the dollar bill he had, and I put it up to my nose, and I go down to do my line, and I started snorting. I snorted the whole fucking thing, guys. The entire line to the fucking dome, and it hurt so fucking bad. I was literally crying after snorting it. But I fucking did it, guys. I proved to this way older guy than me that I could hang. I proved to him that I was the holy one, that I could actually hang. So I was like, holy shit, the rush I have is intense, right? It was crazy. It was way too fucking intense for anybody, especially a 17-year-old. Now, at this point, I was completely off of my rocker, like in outer space, like not just in outer space. I was on planet Jupiter. I was about 2 days awake at this point, guys, coming on to my 3rd day. I don't know what time it was, but I started thinking about some very fucked up shit. I started to think that Brady and Jason weren't really cool, and I thought they were planning to kill me and my mom and take our fucking identities and crazy shit, like steal our car and fucking sell it for parts and kill us all and shit like that. So I'm sitting there thinking about these fucking delusions when Brady's friend we're gonna call Samantha shows up. Now, this didn't help with my paranoid ass at all, because my mom and Samantha were not on the best terms at the time. They did not like each other at all. They had a bunch of beef like that was in the past, right? So, you know, that made it even more fucking bad for me. I started getting more paranoid, but I sat there like a fucking meth trooper and held it together for as long as possible, right? I just kept pretending to not be thinking these things and not be like thinking they're weird and shit like that. And I was sitting there talking to them and shit like that. I was like, yeah, guys, I'm having so much fun. But I sat there and I held it together as for as long as I can. My heart was pounding out of my chest, guys, like the whole time. Like the whole time. I could literally hear my heartbeat. So, you know, Samantha really came to bring Brady a meth pipe, but I was like, oh, fuck, she's here to come and kill us. But, guys, she gave me a beer, right? And it didn't help with my paranoid ass at all. I was like, fuck, they're trying to get me more fucked up so they can kill me, right? So I drink that fucking beer, right? And we start smoking some meth, and while she's about to hand me the meth pipe, she looks at me and she goes, are you Carrie's kid? And I'm like, yeah, I am, right? Because my mom just passed out right beside us, and she's like, oh no, I can't hand this to you. She's gonna kill me if I do. And I'm like, no, you can. It's cool. It's okay. She's not gonna kill you. She knows. And guys, I'm still thinking these delusions and shit. I don't know why. I was just tweaking, right? So, we start smoking meth. She hands it to me eventually, and I start rolling a bowl. I'm rolling this bowl, right, getting fucking zooted, going like, yeah, running around naked. Not really, but I was just fucking off my rocker, guys. It was not a fucking great time. So, you know, eventually they end up making me leave the room, and I do not know why. It made me really paranoid, and I'm still really confused about that to this day. I do not know why they made me leave the room, but they did. That made me think like some crazy shit. I started thinking like, oh fuck, they're gonna actually do what I'm thinking, right? Like, it didn't help at all. So, you know, I'm sitting in there fucking trying to talk to Jason, and he's not talking to me because I'm just not making any sense probably. I mean, he's playing his game with his friends though, I think. So I think that's why he wasn't talking to me, right? But all I remember at this point in the story time, whenever they made me leave the room, is that it was another day at this point, and I had been up like 3 days, and Jason wasn't talking to me because he was playing his fucking game with his friends. That's all I remember from this part. Brady and Samantha walk into the living room, right? And they're like, hey, do you want to come with us to this fucking car parts store? And I'm just like, fuck it, why not? I can't name the name of the car parts store because it's a family place that's like right by my like house, and I don't want you guys knowing where I live. So I walk out with them, and we go to this car parts store, and we get there, and I'm sitting there for what felt like 10 fucking days. I was sweating so bad, you guys. My shirt was soaked, right? And it was because I was on so much meth. But while I was sitting in the car waiting for them to come back, I was just looking around, fucking scared. Like, come on, please hurry up. Just fucking tweaking out, thinking somebody was gonna come up and murder me and shit. I don't know. I didn't know what they were doing. I don't know why I decided to go, guys. I was fucking scared. I was like, fuck, what are they getting? What are they doing? Did they steal my mom's credit card or some shit? Is that why they wanted me to leave the room? I'm still thinking the most craziest off the wall shit, and I'm just like not making any rational sense in my own brain, guys. And that's how you know it's bad. It was so hot, and I was geeking so hard. I was out of my body, but they came back, right? And we had to leave. So we left, we were on the way back talking shit, and I think Samantha starts flirting with me, right? She's like, oh, you look older for your age and shit like that. I'm just like, what? I'm like, I thought I was just tweaking, but I probably was. I might have just been hearing shit, but, you know, we get back to the house. You know, the motherfucking cribby, the spot that we were chilling at Jason and Brady's house. We get back there, right? We go back to Brady's room, and they start smoking more meth, right? And I'm just like, welp. I finally decided I can't take it no more. I gotta go home. I'm gonna fucking die here. This is horrible. I hate this, right? I hate this. This is evil. This is wrong. The atmosphere is wrong. Something bad is going to happen, right? I had this horrible impending doom feeling in my stomach. So it was really early in the morning. It was my 3rd day being awake now. And around this time, I started getting more paranoid. I just said that, but you know, I'm sorry, I said it again. And around this time, I started planning my escape, right? I was like, fuck, I gotta go. I can't be here anymore. I decided to call my grandma, right? And she picked up the phone instantly. And I said, hey, could you please come get me from Brady's? I'm not fucking comfortable here. Last night, my mom brought me here, and I just don't feel comfortable here. And she's just like, okay, I'm on the way, sweetie. I'll be there in a second. And she picks me up. She gets there really quick, like a fucking the G of a grandma she is. And I tell everybody I'm leaving, and on the way out, I'm saying goodbye and I'm waving to everybody when I see somebody that didn't like me at all, right? Now, I was hallucinating. I did not really see this guy, but to give a little context of why he doesn't like me, it was because one of my friends robbed him, right? And he knew I was friends with him. And he told my friend he was going to get both of us. So, you know, I was scared, right? I saw this dude talking to Jason with a shiesty mask on, and I was like, oh my God, I'm going to die. They're fucking planning it. They're doing it. They're going to kill my mom and kill me, right? So keep in mind, Jason had a red Altima at the time. We drive off, me and my grandma, and as we're driving off and getting a little bit of ways away from their house, I'm looking back the whole time staring at the house, right? And I see Jason and that dude get in the car and they drive off. So I'm like, fuck, they're gonna follow us. They're gonna come and kill me. Like, dude, I'm thinking some crazy things during this time, alright? And we get back to my house, right? And I'm telling my grandma they're gonna fucking kill my mom. I start talking to her about this shit. And I start to tell her, and she can instantly tell I'm just tweaking because Brady's a lifelong friend of my mom's and would never do that. But I'm crying in the car in the driveway because I think they're going to kill her genuinely, and I think they're going to come after us. And I tell her that I saw the car pull off, so that must mean they're coming after us and shit like that. And to just get ready, I don't care if you believe me, they're probably gonna fucking do it, right? So she says, Royal Stonerz, I'm gonna call them and show you nothing's going to happen. And I'll start flipping out, screaming and crying. And I'm just like, God, I'm done. I'm going to my room. I'm fucking done. So I go to my room, right? And I'm pacing around like a tweaker, and tweaker peeking out my window and shit, like the most professional fucking spun out tweaker on the planet. When I am looking out my window and I see Jason's red Altima driving by my house super slow with the fucking guy in it that didn't like me. And I instantly shut my blinds and start freaking the fuck out even more. My heart started beating fucking harder than it ever beat any other time during that experience. So I ran to my kitchen, I grabbed a knife, I run back to my room, and guys, I'm thinking of every possible way they could kill me. I'm like, they could come into my door and kill me. So I barricade my room with my dresser, and I'm like, guys, they could shoot me through the windows, so like I can't lay here on the floor. They could shoot me that angle, they could shoot me at that angle, and I finally find an angle they couldn't shoot me at, and I lay on the floor, right? So I sat there laying on the floor with the knife in my hand, tweaking my ass off and tripping, right? So I decided to check my pockets, and I felt around in my pockets for a minute, and I discovered a bag of meth. Fuck, I had forgot about this. I thought it was about like a 0.5, keep in mind, and I had been laying on my floor for like a very long time. A shit ton of time has passed at this point. It was nighttime now when I found the fucking meth in my pocket. But my dresser was still up against the door and shit, so, you know, I said, fuck it. If I'm gonna do the rest of this, it's gonna be on the dresser, so let me get up real quick and do this. I got all the shit out. I used the knife that I was holding in my hand to crush up the dope, and I did it, right? Guys, this is what sent me into, like, an instant psychosis. Every time I've ever done the rest of my fucking meth, it always does, okay? I do the rest of it, right? And at a point, I'm laying on my bed scrolling through my phone, and I start to hear someone at my window, like rustling around in the bushes, right? So I'm like, fuck, they're here. God damn it. Fuck. And I start to hear banging on my little brother's fucking window, right? Like actual banging in a window, like bust, right? And I'm like, fuck, they're getting in, right? And I look over at my window, right? And I hear someone fidgeting at my window, and I see a fucking light shining through the fucking window, right? And I see someone slowly opening it, but I couldn't make out what they looked like. I don't know if any of you guys have experienced this when you're in a psychosis or on meth or in a meth psychosis, but they didn't have a face. I thought it was a person, but I couldn't make out their face because they didn't have one. So I jump up and I'm fucking screaming with genuine terror in my heart. I scream like, ah, like that, guys. And I run up. I'm like, fuck, I trapped myself in here. With them. I gotta move it. So I move the dresser, right? And I run to the fucking kitchen where my grandma's fucking smoking her last nightly cigarette. My poor grandma. And I say, Grandma, someone's breaking into my fucking house. I'm calling the police right now. And she's freaking out like, no, don't call the police. Because, guys, I'm sure the whole day they knew I was tweaking. She was trying to explain to me, you know, you're just high, don't call the police. Like, she knew I was getting high, guys. She obviously did, because I'd been caught a bunch of times before in the past doing drugs. So she's like, no, please don't call him, please. And she goes to my room, right? She's like, follow me, and she checks everything, and I follow behind her, and the window's closed, right? And the blinds aren't moving or anything. And I say, look, they must have shut it when they heard me saying I was gonna call the police. But go in there and check my little brother's room, because the window is broken. They're in here. I know it, right? And she goes in there and checks, and she says the window's not fucking broken, and that doesn't convince me at all, right? So, I call the fucking police, right? And I tell them, hey, I need help. I'm tripping. I have schizophrenia and I'm gonna hurt myself. And I said this because I didn't want the people who were breaking in to somehow hear me. I didn't want them to think I was calling them on them, and I didn't want them to fucking like kill me or something like that. I didn't want them to know that I knew they were watching me, even though like I fucking said all that shit before, guys. This is crazy shit, okay? My grandma ends up calling my mom, right? And she ends up showing up way before the cops do because she was at Brady's house still, and his house is right up the road from mine. So my grandma says, you have to go somewhere else. You can't stay here like this around your brother. And you also can't stay because the cops are going to fucking arrest you, Royal Stonerz. So you got to go. Guys, I genuinely don't think she was wrong. What do y'all think? Do y'all think the cops would have arrested me for this? Let me know down below. So I'm in my mom's car in the back seat, and my grandma's out there talking to the police, and my mom has the most angry look on her face I have ever seen in my entire fucking life, right? She looks absolutely done with life. I think she was mad at her friends maybe for doing the meth with me, but she was still mad at me, and it was still scary, okay? So we end up driving off, and I'm telling my mom about how people are gonna kill my grandma and little brother, and we can't leave, and she's not listening at all, guys. She actually ends up getting on the phone with one of her friends and talking and cutting me off, like obviously cutting me off. So I'm like, fuck. I'm like, she knows too. I'm like, I'm fucked. She's gonna kill me, her own son. I should have known she was in on it too. She was the one who took us to Brady's house. Guys, a common occurrence for me when I was doing dope or meth, whatever the fuck you want to call it, ice, twist, crank, whatever the fuck, I would constantly think everyone was out to get me, okay? Like, I thought, like, my grandma was out to get me, my mom, everybody. That's why I quit doing that shit. So, I was completely trapped in thought, guys. Trapped in my mind. We end up going to my mom's friend's house, and when we arrived there, I'm still thinking the same exact delusions, but at least your boy wasn't in jail. But I'm sitting beside my mom, talking her head off, and she ends up opening up a voice message, right? Like, a voice chat on her phone. And she's smiling while listening to it, and it's a little boy talking, and I couldn't make out the words that he was saying, but she's listening to it over and over again, right? And I end up thinking it's saying, help me, right? So I'm like, I swear, guys, it sounded just like my little brother. So I start crying again, and I ask my mom, they got him, didn't they? And she's just like, what the fuck are you talking about, Royal Stonerz? But I'm just like, fuck it, I'm gonna die. And I keep on telling her, we're gonna die, why are you killing me? And she's like, what are you fucking talking about? I'm not gonna kill you, you're tweaking, right? And anyways, I'm like thinking to myself, fuck, I shouldn't have said that. She's gonna actually kill me now, right? So we end up going to the fucking casino, like a pretty long ways away from my house, right? And I have no idea, guys, but my mom would go to the casino a lot, a very lot during her addiction. I have no idea, but I rode there with her the whole fucking way. And I kept on thinking Brady and Jason were behind us. Like, I kept on seeing cars, and I was, like, seeing Brady and Jason in them, And I was still fucking freaking out. But when we got there, we parked in a parking garage, and my mom told me she had to go do something, right? Now, she got out the car, and I'm sitting there in the parking garage in my mama's car with the doors locked, and I'm looking in the little mirror, right? Like, that you can see behind yourself. And I'm looking behind me, right? And I start to see Brady's truck pull up. I see it pull up and park. I swear I did, guys. Like, I wish y'all could have seen through my eyes, because I had been up for like 3 days at this point, so I was seeing some crazy shit, guys. I see him pull up, right? And I'm just like, fuck, they're here, right? And I see them get out the car, and they get something out of their fucking, they pull out like a bag or something, and I thought it was like a dead body, but looking back now at this exact moment, I think it was somebody taking out their suitcases going to the fucking casino, or like to stay there at the hotel. Holy shit, guys. But yeah, in the moment, I thought it was a body bag, right? And I see my mom come up, right? And she is helping them move the bag, right? So I'm like, fuck, I'm gonna die now. And I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna sit here, right? I'm clutching something in my hand. I don't remember what I had in my hand. I can remember me sitting there freaking out and clutching something, though, that I was gonna use as a weapon, right? I think it was like a pencil or something, honestly, but I don't remember. But my mom finally comes back, and I'm just like, oh shit, maybe they were moving something else, like weed or something. I don't know, but I'm still paranoid, guys, right? And we go back home, right? And she takes me back to my grandma's house, and she's in there talking to my grandma, and I'm sitting in my aunt's room, and I normally don't do this, right? They have me in my aunt's room so that, like, I'm far away from my little brother and stuff, and, like, I can just chill in there. The main reason I was in there is because they put me in there because they wanted me nowhere near my little brother while I was like this, which is pretty fucking sad. And my mom comes in and she hands me these 2 pills, right? And she's like, take these. And I'm like, fuck no, you're trying to poison me. And she's like, shut the fuck up, take these, look them up, look up what they are. And I look up what they are, guys, and they're Seroquel. I'm like, okay, fine, I'll take them. And I take them, guys, and I go to sleep. And that's where this story ended. But yeah, guys, if you enjoyed it, let me know down below in the comments. I enjoy making videos for you guys. I love this shit so fucking much, guys. You don't even understand. I hope you like the stories too. But if y'all did like this one, leave a like, comment down below, subscribe if you're new, join the Discord, join the Royal Stonerz Army today. But yeah, guys, I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.